Okay, good. This is really day 4. That first one, the picture of me in the bottom right corner was missing, and I couldn't figure out where it went, so I had to quit the program and go back in, and it reappeared. I don't know. I'm not good at this live streaming stuff yet, but I'm getting better at it, and I think it's working now. So, um, 0 watching, so that's good. Um, okay, so let's check out day number 4. Repos record. You've sneaked into another supply closet. This time it's across from the prototype soup manufacturing lab. You need to sneak inside and fix the issues with the soup. There's a guard stationed outside. This is as close as you can get. So you search the closet for anything that might help. You discover you're not the first person who want to sneak in. Covering the wall, someone to spend an hour starting every midnight for the past few months secretly observing this guard post. You write down the ID of the one guard on duty that night. They all seem to have decided that one guard was enough for the overnight shift. As well as when they fall asleep or wake up at their post, your puzzle input. For example, consider the following records, which have already been organized into chronological order. Um, okay, so let me. What is this called? Repos record. Day 04 repos record.py. And let's just say that raw equals that. Okay, so now, so I have these things. Guard begins shift, falls asleep, wakes up, falls asleep, wakes up, begins shift, falls asleep, wakes up, um, and so on. Timestamps are written year, month, day, hour, minute. The guard falling asleep or waking up is always the one whose shift most recently started. Because all asleep wake times are during the midnight hour, only the minute portion is relevant for those events. So let me think about that. All asleep wake times are during the midnight hour, only the minute portion is relevant for those events. Visually, these records show that the guards are asleep at these times. Okay, so the first guard has ID 10, falls asleep at 05, and then wakes up at 25. So that means that during 24 he's asleep, 25 he's not asleep. Columns are date, which shows blah, blah, blah. Month, date, person, ID, which is guard, minute. Note the guards count as asleep on the minute they fall asleep, and they count as awake on the minute they wake up. Because guard 10 wakes up at 0:25, minute 25 is marks awake. If you can figure out the guard most likely to be asleep at a specific time, you might be able to trick that guard into working tonight, so you can have the best chance of sticking in. You have 2 strategies. One, find the guard that has the most minute asleep. What minute does that guard spend asleep the most? Example above, guard 10 spent the most minutes asleep, a total of 50 minutes. Okay. Guard 9 slept only 30 minutes. Guard 10 was asleep at most during minute 24 on 2 days. While the example is in chronological order, your entries are in the order you found them. You'll need to organize them before they can be analyzed. What is the ID of the guard you chose multiplied by the minute you chose? Okay. So let's think about this. Want to find guard with the most minutes asleep. Want to find product of, what do I want to find the product of? ID of guard by, want to compute ID of guard times most asleep minutes. Okay. So there's a couple of things. One is that we don't care about dates. So each row has a timestamp, and this is 1518. Is that a year? Wait. just assume it's a year. So we want to pull out the timestamp and figure out if it's asleep, wakes up, or guard. So, let's think about this. Parse a line, which has a line, which is a string. It's going to return. Okay, so from typing import named tuple. And for our, let's say, class timestamp named tuple will have a year, which is an int, and a month, which is an int, and a day, which is an int, and an hour, which is an int, and a minute, which is an int. Okay. And then we're going to have, how do I want to call this? I will call this an event. Actually, no. Let me call it, can we assume that he's always going to fall asleep, then wake up, fall asleep, then wake up, fall asleep, wake up, fall asleep, then wake up? Yes. So how about I'll call this a nap? And a nap will have a guard ID, which is an int, and it will have a sleep minute, which is an int, and I'll just call it sleep and wake. And so this is going to be the minute at which he falls asleep and minute at which he wakes up. Okay. And so let's write a function now to find the naps, and we're going to take a bunch of entries, which is a list of strings, and it's going to return a list of naps. And so we need to import a list. And so what we're going to do is first we're going to say entries equals, if I sort them naively, then I should get them in the right order because it'll go by year first, which is right, then by month, then by day, then by hour, then by minute. So if I just sort them, they'll be in the right order. And they said over here, in this example, entries are in chronological order. Your entries are in the order you found them. You'll need to organize them before they be analyzed, so that tells me I should probably sort them. And then once I do that, I need to say current guard ID equals none. And I'm going to use a regex again, import RE, and we're going to need to test this. So let's go into IPython, and let me just type out what I want this regex to be. Regex equals, so 0 to 9, 4 of them, and 0 to 9, 2 of them, and 0 to 9, parentheses, 0 to 9, 2 of them, and then space, and then 0 to 9, 2 of them, and then colon, and then again 0 to 9, 2 of them, and I wanted to capture that, and then a bracket, and then whatever's left. Okay, And so, like, let me try doing this and see. Line is that guy, and let's copy this regex. Import re dot match regex comma line unbalanced parentheses. Okay, so let's see. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Where did I get unbalanced parentheses? This works. This works. This works. This works. This works. Bracket. This works. Why is that unbalanced? At position 10. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's try this. Maybe I'm not as good at regexes as I think I am. So let's first write without the parentheses. Okay, and now let's try it with the parentheses. That's fine. So where did my regex go wrong? Re dot match unbalanced parentheses. Is it because I need to, I bet I needed to escape the actual brackets, is my guess. So brackets mean something, right? So re.match regex line groups. Okay, perfect. So that was the issue, was that I put in these brackets wanting to exact match them, and that doesn't work because brackets means a class. So year, month, day, hour, minute, year, month, day, hour, minute, comment equals re dot match. Let's do for entry and entries equals re dot match entry dot groups, and then let's say timestamp equals time stamp int year int month int day int hour int minute, and let's say guard ID regex is going to be guard number, and then let's say 0 to 9 plus begins shift. Okay, so let's say guard equals re dot match guard ID regex and a comment. If guard current guard ID equals none, and let me set sleep and wake to none as well, equals wake equals none, current guard ID equals say comment equals underscore -1. Guard ID regex equals that. So re dot match guard ID regex comments dot group no dot groups 0. Okay. Guard ID equals guard dot groups 0. Otherwise, if falls asleep in comment, then I want to assert sleep is none, because I don't want to fall asleep if I'm already asleep. And then sleep equals int minute. And I guess I didn't need that whole timestamp, but that's fine. If wakes up in comment, assert. So I'm going to assert that sleep is none and wake is none. It's and guard. I'll just call this guard ID. Guard ID equals, and I'm going to make this an int. So I'm going to assert guard ID is not none and sleep is none, awake is none, sleep is a minute. Otherwise, assert guard ID. So here I want to assert sleep is none and wake is none. So let's just make this a list of naps to do. So I'm going to assert guard ID is not none, and sleep is not none, and wake is none. And I probably don't need wake, but that's fine. Wake equals int minute, and then what I want to do is I want to say naps.append nap guard ID. Actually, let me assert guard ID is none, and so that'll be good. Naps append guard ID sleep wake, and then I want to set them all to none again. Okay, so what do I want to do? I want to find naps of, and what did I call those entries? Raw. I don't think I want, I think I want to do raw.split on new lines. Match is still missing. Re match. So I need to specify the regex there. Assert guard ID is not none, and sleep is none, and wake is none. So let's print entry and see how far it gets. Wakes up, falls asleep, wakes up. Because I can have the same guard going in over and over again, so I don't want to reset the guard ID here. I would reset sleep and wake, but that's fine, and that means that also I can't assert that guard ID is none here. I can only assert that sleep is none and wake is none. So try it again, and then I need to return naps. So guard ID 10 sleeps from 5 to 25. Guard ID 10 sleeps from 30 to 55. Guard guard ID 99 sleeps from 40 to 50. Guard ID 10 sleeps from 24 to 29. And then begin 36 to 46 and 45 to 55. Okay, so I think this works, modulo the fact that it's possible I will need to store the date in part 2. So let us, so that's good. So now we need to go back to the actual problem itself, which is that we want to find the guard who spends the most time asleep. So def sleepiest guard, and let's say naps is a list of nap, and that's going to return us an int. And so what we want to do is we want to import a counter, say, from collections import counter for say sleep counts equals counter for nap in naps. What do we want to do? We want to say sleep counts nap.guardID plus equals nap.wake minus nap.sleep. Okay. And then I want to return sleep counts most common 1, and that's going to give me a list of the one most common with the biggest count, which is the guard who sleeps the most. 0, which will give me just the first element, and then 0, which will give me just his ID. So what I want to do is I want to say, let me go back to raw and add this split in there. And so let me say that naps equals find naps for raw. And now I want to assert that the sleepiest guard of those naps is guard 10 spent the most minutes asleep is 10. And I'm just going to print sleep counts and make sure that it's printing correctly. And so let's run this. It's going to say person 10 slept for 50 minutes and person 99 slept for 30 minutes. 50 minutes, is that right? And 30 minutes, yeah, so that's right. So that seems to be working. And then I want to do most common sleepy minutes. And so again, we'll take a list of naps, and this time we'll take a guard ID, which is an int, and it will return an int. And so again, we'll say minutes equals a counter. So we'll just count how many times they were asleep in that minute. And we'll say for nap in naps, if nap.guardID equals the specified guard ID. So that's the only guard that we care about. For minute in nap.sleep, in range, nap.sleep, nap.wake. So we want to include the first one. We don't want to include the last one. So that's perfect because that works. And we'll say minutes, a minute plus equals 1. And then as we did yesterday, we'll say minute 1, count 1, minute 2, count 2 equals minutes dot most common 2. So we're going to take the 2 most common minutes he was asleep, and we're going to assert that count 1 is bigger than count 2, so that there's a unique biggest, and then we'll return minute 1. And so we want to assert that most common sleepy minute of the naps and guard ID 10 is, and they say it should be 24. So let's run this. Minute 1 is not defined. Where is that? Oops, because I used a double equal when I should use a single equal. Let's try this again, and that seems to work. Perfect. And so now I have a puzzle input finally, and so let's collect all these and add it in the data column, day04.text. Okay, so that's good. So let's say with open data day04.text. Let's see what people are saying. Good luck, good luck, good luck, good luck. Okay, good. People are telling me that I screwed up my escaping, and I should have been looking at that earlier. It would have been easier. So thanks for telling me that. I appreciate it. I figured it out, but next time I get stuck like that, I'm going to look, and you guys are going to tell me what I'm doing wrong, and that's fantastic. So as F, and I want to say lines equals line for line in F, and then naps equals, what did I call it? Find, I'll call it entries. Entries, naps equals find naps entries. Okay, perfect. So let's just run this. And naps, okay, so I have a bunch of naps, and they seem okay. And now what I want to do is I want to say SG equals sleepiest guard naps, and then minute, okay, let's say sleepiest guard ID is sleepiest guard naps, sleepiest minute equals most common sleepy minute from naps, and then the sleepiest guard ID, and then we want to print sleepiest guard ID times sleepiest minutes. Okay, and if this is wrong, it's going to be a real pain to debug, so I hope it's not wrong. And let's run it, and it's saying 21956. It found a sleepiest guard. It found a sleepiest minute. At least I think things work right. So 21956. So let's try it. And if it's wrong, then it's wrong. That's the right answer. And I got ranked 941 on the STARS leaderboard, which is not bad since I started a little late. Strategy 2. Of all guards, which guard is most frequently asleep on the same minute? Example above, guard 99 spent minute 45 asleep more than any other guard or minute, 3 times in total. In all other cases, any guard spent any minute asleep at most twice. What is ID of the guard? Which guard is most frequently asleep on the same minute? So I think they're saying, what I think they're saying is, I don't know what to call this. Frequently, most frequently asleep minutes. And let's say naps as a list of nap. And I want to return a guard ID and a minute. So I'll just say is a tuple of int and int. And I think that means I need to import tuple, which is fine. And so what do I want to do? Again, I want to say counts equals counter for nap in naps. Now what I want to do is I want to say 4 minutes in range nap dot sleep nap dot wake. So again, this is almost the same as above, except before I filtered on a guard ID, and I just collected by minute. Now I don't want to filter on the guard ID because I want to check across all guard IDs. But for each minute, I want to know how many times that's for a particular guard. So my counter is going to have like a compound key, and do something like counts nap dot guard ID minute plus equals 1. So now I'm counting pairs guard ID minute, because I think that's what they're saying. They're saying guard 99 spent minute 45 asleep more than any other guard or minute. So I want to find the combination of guard ID and minute with the biggest count. So that's the same thing. And now I can basically, and this is going to be ugly, but I can say guard ID 1, minute 1, count 1, comma, guard ID 2, minute 2, count 2 equals counts dot most common 2. And so again, this is like just a fun safeguard to make sure I don't end up with a tie. So if I end up with a tie, probably I did something wrong, since I think they crafted the data to mean there is no ties. So I want to assert that count 1 is bigger than count 2, so there's a unique biggest value. And then I just want to return GID1 min 1. So now let's write a test for this, that the most frequently asleep minute, and these are all terrible names of the test set, is, and we said it's guard 99 minute 45. 99:45. So let's run that, and the test passed. So that makes me think that we're probably correct here. So now what I need to do is I need to say guard ID minute equals most frequently asleep minute from the naps from the file, and then let's print guard ID minute, and then it wants their product, so guard ID times minute. I'll just print them all. What is the ID of the guard you chose? Multiply by the minute you chose. So that seems reasonable. So guard 3449 is minute 39. And so that's their product. So let's check for this guard. There's a lot of guards. 3449. So he did minute 39 there. He did minute 39 there. He did minute 39 there. He did, I thought I saw him, not there. Anyway, so it seems reasonable. So let's try it. Let me go look at my thing. And is assert more idiosyncratic for this exercise and not common practice outside of unit testing? Yeah. Okay, so assert is, these are unit tests. Like these are, I am writing unit tests. And if I were doing like a real project, I would put them in a file and then use PyTest to run them or something. But here I'm just writing everything in one file, so these asserts are just my unit tests. That's what they are. Actually, I take that back. The things like assert most frequently asleep minute, like this one on my test data set, that's a unit test. This thing here, where I'm asserting basically an invariant of my function, that's not really a unit test. That's more of like a safety check, because the problem told me you should get exactly one like most frequent response, right? And so this is me checking that for any input I give it, I'm getting exactly one most frequent response. So I think of a unit test as being more like, I have a pre-canned data set, I know what the answer should be, check that I get the right answer. Whereas this is, I've assumed some invariant of the data I'm going to put into this function, how this function works, and so I'm going to make an assertion of that. So that one is not like a unit test. That's okay. Anyway, enough about unit tests. 134511. That's the right answer. I got rank 867 on this stars leaderboard. All right, cool. So that's good. We're done. So let's add this stuff to GitHub, git add data, git add day 04, git commit day 04, git push. Okay, cool. So I am still figuring out how to deal with these chats in real time. I'm working on it, but I'll figure it out as we go on. So this is up here, and usual reminder, follow me on Twitter, follow me on YouTube. There's this Patreon thing. That's blah, blah. Anyway, same spiel I give every day. So thanks for watching, and that was kind of a slightly slow problem. It took a little bit longer than I wanted it to, but it worked, and it didn't really cause us any grief. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow or whenever I do the next one.